Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to do this review, but before we get into this review, let me tell you to hit that like button down below. That's right, like this video. It will help me out tremendously, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you kindly. You guys are the best. And subscribe if you're new here because this is what I do, baby. Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Izzy here for another review, reaction, recap, whatever we gonna call this today, to Insecure Season 4, Episode 6. Man, I had fun with this episode. It was a lot going on. I'm not gonna really give y'all a breakdown of the step-by-steps of it. I'm just gonna throw out my thoughts based off the stuff that I liked in this episode and the things I didn't like in the episode and things I thought were important in this episode. We just gonna talk about it.
We gonna talk about it.
I don't know about y'all, but I felt like this episode was important. It had like a small tinge of filler vibes, but I mean, it wasn't bad. I actually very much enjoyed it. It reminds me of like the first season, kind of like before we get like really introduced to a lot of the characters. It's just a day in the life of Issa. It's simple. It could be more simple than that. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty then, shall we? So the block party is done. We over that. And now it is the literal following day. And during that following day, we see Issa still hearing Molly's words being replayed in her mind and stuff like that. And based off the way that she did things later on with helping people out and stuff like that, from the ride with George to the failed attempted pay ahead thing with the pregnant lady and all that stuff, it clearly hit a nerve for Issa. And I think that's important, and I think that's a good thing, because it showed that even within all the nasty things that they said to one another, because they both said some pretty rude and messed up things that they cannot take back, something that Molly did say did stick. Or some of the things that Molly did say, they did stick. And now she feels like she's a user. But that's because she kind of did. So, I mean, So now she's on a mission to clear her name and, wash the blood off of her hands, so to speak. And she's doing it with Dollar Tree soap instead of the Dawn with the duck on it. She's not getting the oil out, She's not getting it done right. And it shows when she's helping out the pregnant chick. Now that was messed up, and that was funny. First of all, the fact that nobody wanted to help that pregnant lady out was sad, and it hurt my soul to see it. And you hate to see it, but it happens. Whether it be something as simple as that, or something as simple as a pregnant lady on a bus. Who do you give the seat up to? The pregnant chick that's struggling, looking like she's about to pop any minute now, or the old person in the crutch? It's the age-old question that we're not going to answer right now.
I give it up to the pregnant chick. The old person, they had their time. They can go. Yeah, I know, I answered it. I wasn't supposed to do that.
At the end of it all, it didn't matter. She tried to put out good energy within doing so, messing it all up in the process in traditional Issa fashion, because she could not cover that 154 and some odd change that I don't remember. 34 cents maybe, 68 cents, who cares? It was $155, we're going to round it off. And she could not pay for that. Getting your card declined twice. And the pregnant lady saying, you know what? Don't worry about it. The lesson that you've taught me, the gift that you've given me today is perspective. And she just walks off. So next up is the ride with George. And that was, oh my gosh, that had me weak. That was probably the funniest part of the whole episode. Just the ride with George. Like, I've dealt with people like that. And that is frustrating. And you just, especially as a Lyft driver, you're like, how long is this ride gonna be again? You got 2.5 miles left. This is gonna be a long 2.5 miles. You just counting down the time, just waiting. Get out of my car, get out! And it's super frustrating. I felt her pain on that, and I completely understand. Trying to do something right for somebody, and they just take full advantage of you in every way, shape, or form possible. But at the end of it all, it was cool. George was cool. He had a good attitude about the whole thing. He was grateful and everything. He just did not get her name right. Now what? Where do we go from here with Issa and this block party? You feel me? The block party's ended. The block party's done. What what's next? I've been asking this over and over again. I've been saying this over and over again. What's next? I think her talking to her mom gave her a little perspective on that, and it was good that we actually got to spend time now with Issa's mom because we saw her at the beginning of the Thanksgiving episode, and that was when we first realized, oh snap, Issa has a mom. Haven't seen that before. That's crazy. What? Crazy. And we didn't really get much else after that, and now we did, and I actually very much enjoyed that time. Like, she got more screen time, and I felt like that was a very important moment. I personally don't have that kind of relationship with my mother, but I imagine for all of you guys who are close to your moms like that, for something to be like really bugging and bothering you like that or whatever, just to bring it in with your mom and like give her like that hug, like maybe it's gonna be okay, and you just go from like, what's going on, and then you just immediately break down. Oh, I don't understand what that's like personally, but I imagine that that is a moment, and I felt that a little bit. It was a nice mother daughter moment, and I'm sure a lot of y'all out there can relate to that, and it's nice. It's nice. I mean, I really don't have too much else to say to that. It's nice, I guess. But talking with her mom now is just kind of like, what's the next step from here? And I think Issa has to do some soul searching on that based off of what is next. I think more events can be planned, but the how is where I get stuck personally, but I'm not within that grasp of a field, so I don't know. But maybe y'all can throw out some ideas on what you think she's going to probably do next. So if you do, put that down in the comment section below. I want to see what you guys think she's going to do next with this kind of creative streak that she's going with here. And the even bigger question is, if she does throw another event like the block party or otherwise, do you think she was going to be able to handle that on her own? Because I feel like that's a very important question to ask. Is she going to be able to handle that on her own, or is she going to have to seek out help again and possibly still contact Condola? Because that would make perfect sense, but would it be awkward to still make another event and then still reach out to her? I feel like she still should, because she's the one who helped her with the block party in the first place to help it become such the success that it was. Because she didn't do it alone, so would you do it again? Or rather, would Condola do it again? Or is Condola going to be like, bitter, I'm going to stay out of this one, if you don't mind. Don't talk to me, lose my number, as a matter of fact. So, I don't know. I think she won't, because it's awkward now. Y'all should have kept that business, and y'all didn't keep it strictly business. Y'all tried to be friends, and that didn't work out. Not necessarily her fault, not necessarily either one of them's fault, but it became their fault after the whole finding out about Lawrence thing. But now Condola and him aren't together, so maybe it won't be that bad. I don't know. We still haven't seen or heard from Lawrence since he left her house the month before the block party. So I don't know what's going on with that. And little by little, old light-skinned, light bulb looking Nate just keeps slinking in there.
I call him a light bulb because he yellow.
Keeps slinking back in there, and now they're having more chance to reconnect and get that thing back together again. And again, like I said before, I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of either one of them being together at all. Call me old-fashioned or bitter or whatever. I just, no, not a fan.
We still don't know why this nigga ghosted. This is why I'm not a fan. Tell me why you ghosted, and then maybe I'll be alright with it. Right now, I'm not cool with it because I don't know why you left, my guy. Tell us why you left, and maybe I'll be okay with it and be on your side. Right now, I'm not.
I said it. I meant it. I'm not tripping.
Why you ghost, my nigga?
Shout out to the cameos in this episode. I loved it. Kyla Pratt, oh, she looking just as fine as ever. She looked exactly the same, but older, but exactly the same. Woo! Kyla Pratt, I had a crush on her, boy, coming up. Woo! Dr. Dolittle, one-on-one, specifically one-on-one, honestly, because that was like teenage years, adolescence and all. it was nice seeing her on the big screen. Well, not the big screen, but on screen again. I haven't seen her in anything since One on One. So if she's done other things since then, nigga, I missed it. Y'all tell me if she's been in something else, because I've yet to see it. I'll probably check it out. Please tell me if she's been in other things that you've seen since then, because I really don't know. And even though it was a short, bitty little small moment, the nigga Ryan Davis, that nigga is hilarious. I love that guy. His videos are great. So if you don't watch him at all by chance, if you don't know, Ryan Davis is the nigga who was in the barbershop with Nate talking about, I got a hair in my sandwich, you gonna eat yours? That guy. If you don't follow him or watch him, follow him and watch him. His YouTube channels, IG and all that, it should be like called With All Due Offense. I'll probably put the link in the description below, so check him out. But yeah, that man's hilarious, and it was good to see those cameos in this show, in this episode. Granted, I don't care for the fact that I had such high hopes. I thought Kyla Pratt and the other girls or whatever, I thought they were gonna be like, oh snap, like, is this gonna be like the new Friends? Is this how we move forward from Molly right now? Is this how we going? Is this the new bunch right now? Because if so, I kind of feel it. I absolutely feel it. And then come to find out, they played this nigga. They played Issa like a violin, boy. Just played her. Played her. It was sad. It was sad. It was foul. It was fucked up, really. But I still enjoyed her presence on screen. But they played her, man. And watching Issa roll up on him, like, she hit that ski skirt on him, boy. She was ready for war. And then to find out she didn't even really do it, and she wasn't going to. It's just like, God, Issa, why do you do this, yo? Go for it, my guy. Like, she had nothing else to lose at that moment. Well, she probably had something to lose, because if they ended up calling the cops and pressing charges, it would have been like, oh, that's the bride that did the block party thing. That could have went a couple ways, actually. Who knows? It probably wouldn't have even happened. It doesn't matter. The point is, Issa was a pussy in that moment, and Kyla Pratt was amazing, and I love that she was on this episode. Boom. I love Kelly. I love that she was a real ass friend, and she was looking out for both of her girls. She was genuinely concerned. She usually not paying attention to these things, because Kelly be in her own little hoe world and whatnot, so she don't really be caring or paying it too much mind. But Kelly was a real one for checking up on Issa. She called her constantly, leaving her voice messages trying to get her to talk. Call me back. Talk to Molly. Have you talked to Molly yet? What's going on with you and Molly? What was that? And apparently, thanks to Issa asking, for all of us that were wondering, like, she'd been giving Molly that same energy. But I guess she actually got to talk to Molly, so there's that. But we don't know how long that took, too. So for all we know, Molly's been kind of going through the same thing that Issa has, not calling nobody, not talking to nobody or whatever. So we really don't know what's going on with that. But all I can hope is that, maybe that's what we're going to get next episode, is what happens on Molly's side now. So speaking of which, Issa's in such a good mood and stuff like that, doing her own personal self-care Sunday and stuff like that, and getting her life back on track instead of focusing on all this negative and Molly and blah, blah, blah. So even though I personally feel like Issa was wrong for what she did and stuff like that, what's done is done, and it really don't matter. But at the same time, her mirror self was right. They both did wrong, and neither one is hell-bent on contacting the other one first. And it be like that sometimes. I've been there. I've dealt with that. And sometimes you just get prideful, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If neither, and the problem with that is, even though I know this concept too, if neither one of them does it, then it's just going to be nothing. Because at the end of the day, there's still a conversation that needs to be had. Things still need to be talked about. Like, that can't not be a thing. And they're both very much making this a thing. So we fast forward to her talking to people on Facebook and stuff like that, talking about the block party. And she's like, I got you, more coming soon. We already hit that. Now she's off to go get some Ethiopian food. And the moment I saw that Ethiopian restaurant sign or whatever, I was like, bet, Molly's going to be in there already, probably with Andrew on a date or something like that. And lo and behold, Molly was in there. And I knew Molly was in there because that's the first place that they went to eat when we saw them in the first episode of this whole series. Not the season, but this whole series. Episode 1, season 1. They went to that Ethiopian restaurant. So more than likely, of course, they got the same taste to go to the same places and stuff like that. Eventually, as best friends, you gonna run into each other at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I felt... How do I feel? I was fine with the way that whole scenario ended. I had no issues with it whatsoever. I think it was the best decision that could have been made in this episode because it's realistic and authenticity is super 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 important. You know what I mean? Like, what would have happened if Issa did go in there and decide to be the bigger person and stuff like that? It can go a couple of ways. You can go in there and be like, oh, hey girl, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah, right? And maybe it could have been cool after that. Because maybe Molly would have apologized. Maybe Molly wouldn't have apologized. Who knows? It's only been a day. And it hasn't even been a full 24 hours yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that happened way later that night. Like, this is still a fresh wound. And I don't think that's probably the best way to handle that situation. So, if not that, what you gonna do? Walk up in there and just be like, oh, hey girl, what you ordering? Like nothing happened? That's really not going to fly because now you're going to just act like nothing happened? Oh, no. We're really not good. So it's a catch-22. You kind of lose even when you're trying to be the bigger person because you don't know where the other person is at. I think that was the best way to go. I think that was the best course of action that could have been taken because I think that you should let that shit kind of marinate for a minute. Not stew like it's been stewing, but things were said. A lot of hurtful things were said. And now y'all both need to take the time to stop and fucking chill. Relax. And let time kind of work its way in there and then find each other again. Don't wait too long or anything like that, but I don't know, man. I don't feel like doing that so soon would have been a good option. So I think this was the best course of action. And I respect that because they both on this pride thing right now. And I don't know if I can agree that Issa's always the one reaching out and apologizing and stuff like that. Because honestly, she be doing most of the shit wrong. Like, she used Molly for the whole Daniel situation in the first in the first season. She, with the whole broken pussy situation, that was all Molly. She used Molly to help her find the video to get it taken down. I mean, that's not really using her. It was more like, hey, nigga, can you help me kind of thing. But still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, when it comes to stuff with her and Molly, there's not too many moments where just like Molly needs to come to her and be like, damn, my bad, son. There's not that many of them. It's really not. Like, in comparison to Issa, like, her list is way longer. So yeah, she kind of had to apologize. So but whatever, fuck it, it doesn't matter. All the same, I'm fine with the way it ended. I have no quarrels with it whatsoever. If you feel indifferent, debate me, fight me in the comment section. I will answer you. What's good? Let's go. You feel me? What we doing? But that's all I got for you guys today. I try to keep it as short as possible. I just really wanted to cover all the bases of what I felt about this episode in a semi-step-by-step, but not really step-by-step basis. And I think that you guys should like this video. I think you guys should hit that like button down below. Hit it for your guy. And subscribe if you're new here. And hit me up in the comments section if you want to talk about this. Hey. Other than that, you guys, thank you for watching. I love y'all. Can't wait to see what happens in episode 7 with Molly and Andrew and whatever she's going to be having going on in that one. I wonder if Dro will be involved in some way, shape, or form. Probably not. That's just me reaching too high. I'm reaching right now. I'm reaching. But in either case, thank y'all. Love y'all. And until next time, I will be here telling it like it is.